come in. We stand before you this morning following deeply disturbing developments in the ongoing public hearings on the proposed Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. What we witnessed yesterday in Harare, and indeed in other parts of the country, cannot be described as a genuine consultative process. Citizens were denied the opportunity to speak, voices were drowned out, and in some instances violence and intimidation were deployed against those expressing dissenting views, including on journalists, lawyers. This is not consultation, this is orchestration. A constitutional process that excludes citizens cannot claim legitimacy. Our position as the DCP, in consent with our colleagues in the CDF and in the National Constitutional Assembly, we have taken a principled decision. We hereby disengage from the current public hearing process. We cannot participate in or lend legitimacy to a process that is fundamentally flawed, exclusionary, and inconsistent with the spirit and letter of the Constitution. However, disengagement does not mean withdrawal from the constitutional struggle. We unequivocally demand for a proper, transparent, and inclusive process that covers every constituency in the country. This engagement that must be done in the event that they deny us the opportunity for a constitutional process that is inclusive, then the issue of the Constitution is taken into the hands of the citizens themselves. The citizens will express themselves alternatively under the protection of Section 59 of the Constitution. Joining me this morning is Professor Madu from the NCA and my brother Tendai from CDF. I'll give and yield to Professor Madu.
Thank you very much. Just to add to what has already been said, we are very clear that as Zimbabweans, we cannot have our constitution made by a few people, a constitution made for the personal interests of a few people. This bill has been rejected roundly. I mean, you can get the mood in the country. The public consultations that are now described as parliamentary processes, as far as we are concerned, they are nothing but Zanu Pf rallies dressed up as parliamentary processes. We wanted and we had called upon all people of Zimbabwe to go to the hearings. At the time we thought that Parliament would do the decent thing of at least providing some minimum framework for Zimbabweans to express themselves. And then by yesterday, which is the second day, it became clear that they are not doing that they are involved in something else, which is what you are saying. Only one view must be expressed. That is completely contrary to what parliamentary processes ought to do. So for that reason, we cannot continue to be part to this, mainly because it's not safe for anyone. In Harare, as you saw yesterday, all of us leaders, including everyone, some who are not here, you saw what they did to Doug Coulthard. Completely in the eyes of the members of parliament who were supposed to preside over, completely in the eyes of the police, completely in the eyes of the whole world, because those things were beamed to everyone. Now, if they don't care about that, it means that it's risky for our members. And when we urged people to go in, we didn't think that it would be really a death trap, because yesterday we could easily have been seriously harmed. So that is for the reason. So we can't be part to that, but we know that Parliament has a duty to do proper consultation. And as our colleague, Honorable Timber has said, there ought to be, we are not giving up on this. We would not allow the so-called amendment to get through. It won't be the law of this country. Never, ever. We will not have that. So we'll adopt processes that will ensure that the people of Zimbabwe express themselves. And then we also challenge, we still have processes in the courts, and we are going to have other processes in the courts. those things would happen. We would be working together. I think Tendai will talk about that in indicating how we move forward from here. But I want to be clear, as NCA, together with our colleagues, we are not going to be further apart to these processes. So we have told our people not to bother going. Let it be a Zanu Pf thing. Let them do what they are. But I can tell you that Zanu Pf can never, ever impose its will in this matter. It is not going to be allowed. And Zimbabweans must be sure that that won't happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade JZ. I just want to add to what my colleagues have said. We are three organizations here, the DCP, the NCA, and the CDF. There are other colleagues that are not here, and other organizations that are not here that are part of us. I think I want to emphasize the fact that we cannot continue legitimizing a process that is a farce, a process that is a shame, a process that has been clearly been hijacked by a Zanu Pf, a process that has been so corrupted. We saw what happened in Bulawayo at large city hall, at Ngeta, what happened in Chitubiza Aquatic Complex, in Bema, in Kwekwe, in Chirez, and most importantly, the whole world, including you members of the fourth estate, saw the brazen violence, arrogance, and hubris of what happened at the City Sports Center yesterday afternoon. So we cannot continue legitimizing a process that is clearly illegal. A process that in any event was already rigged. In 2013, the constitutional making process had over 4,000 public meetings scattered across the entirety of Zimbabwe. They are conducting at most 6 consultations in provinces such as Mashonaland West, Mashonaland East, Midlands. And the figures and the data is that at most they are receiving 200 views in a province. That surely is not good enough. That surely doesn't meet the test. The Constitution is very clear in Section 141 and in Section 328. There has to be public consultations, and members of the public have to be given adequate time and opportunity to present their views. This is clearly not happening. So we are clearly disengaging forthwith, but as Jameson has said, we demand a proper process of public consultation that should be held in every constituency on a minimum of 5 days. So in our view, this process should extend way beyond the 90 days that end in May. This process should be inclusive. It should involve the church, the unions, and Parliament itself should be present to hear what the citizens will say. Obviously, we are now going to work towards building an alliance, a coalition, and broad alliance in defense of the Constitution. So we are going to work together and make the future necessary announcements in due course once the paperwork has been done. We will remain with the people. We will remain on the ground. We will remain in communities, but we also have our own legal options. And part of the obvious thing we are going to do is to basically ask the court to make a declaration that Parliament has failed to fulfill its constitutional obligation. It is a sad day indeed, watching the evolution of a grand coup that is set to create a dynasty and a monarchy in Zimbabwe. And the 3 organizations that are here, we reject that. And I want to emphasize what Professor Maduku has said, that we will not allow Zanu Pf to steal our constitution. We will not allow Zanu Pf to steal the essence of the liberation struggle. And we will not allow Zanu Pf to steal our dignity of our dead bodies.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I think the opposition is clear. The defense of the Constitution is now firmly in the hands of the citizens. I thank you. And we will take any questions from.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to understand your position with regards to the issue of the referendum, because what came out from those few people who managed to contribute opposing the bill, they were calling for the referendum. I wanted to understand your position that are you going to continue asking, demanding for the referendum under the circumstances?
Okay. I will ask Professor Maduku to respond to that.
It is very clear. We will demand a referendum. We don't take away a referendum merely because Zanu Pf is threatening violence. I think there's a view I've heard people saying if they can rig the public consultations, they can also rig the referendum. They are not going to be able to rig the referendum. A referendum is a minimum, a non-negotiable aspect. We have said it. So we'll get a referendum, whether through the courts or through mere action by the people. And we want a referendum. I also have heard the view that Zanu Pf actually thinks that these so-called consultations can substitute a referendum. Now these are separate. What is happening is under Section 141 and Section 328 of the Constitution, where Parliament must consult before it then sits to determine. So that's different. It's a consultation. After Parliament has finished, then whatever it comes up with, if it then adopts the bill, it must go to the people. So a referendum is unavoidable. If, for example, they decide that they take it to the president before it is taken to the referendum, then even better, because we will challenge that. We will get a determination that says this is invalid because there was no referendum. Perhaps the courts will give them an option to say we suspend that and then go to a referendum. So we are still demanding a referendum. I think Timber has made it very clear that disengagement in this case is just disengagement from these Zanu Pf rallies. That's what we are disengaging from. We are disengaging from Zanu Pf rallies. But we then continue on a very broad-based people's process which will ensure that we stop this bill ever becoming the law of the country. So a referendum is unavoidable. Perhaps if he allows the chair that, I should use this opportunity to make it clear that there's so many arguments which are coming across, legal arguments, so to speak, which say that a referendum is not necessary. Or even one which is very strange, which says that a referendum is prohibited by the Constitution. That one I would describe it as the strangest of them all. Now, what you can say is, whatever the position, we will make clear ourselves that as far as we are concerned, a referendum is legally required in this case. And we'll take each other to the place where these things are determined. Ultimately, a court will have to decide between the arguments we are making and the arguments that others are making. But I have no doubt in my mind, and we are all operating on that basis, that the ultimate destination would be a referendum, either through the legal process we get from the courts or through the sheer pressure of the people. The people in this country will get a referendum, whether they like it or not.
Thank you. Just to add there that there will be two referendums. One is just removing the entrenched term limit provision. So if Mr. Mnangagwa and Parliament and anyone benefiting from the extension wanting to benefit himself or herself as an incumbent, then there has to be another referendum. So we demand our referendum, and as Prof. Maduku has said, there is no option, there's no alternative, there is no way that you can avoid these referendums. And their bill itself is aware that there's that obligation, which is why it says in clause 42A that notwithstanding clause 328, because they know that it's a mandatory obligation. So we demand our referendum. We demand our referendum if Mr. Mnangagwa and the current parliament wants to be a parliament in 2030.
Thank you. Any other question?
We have a comment.
Yes.
Okay, can you please explain to the public how how important these hearings were in why is the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 is concerned. How were they important? How are they crucial in the lawmaking process? The current.
I'm going to ask the lawyers to talk to that, but let me first of all say that whether 95% of Zanu Pf people say they like this does not change the fact that Parliament still has to make a decision. So Parliament can still say they don't want the bill, irrespective of what was said. So this process is a process only of consultation. It does not change the law. Okay. It also does not change the requirement for a referendum, which is incorporated. It does not replace it.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It answers. We shouldn't really overdo that. Yeah. What you are witnessing is an abuse of power. It's an abuse. You abuse resources. You go out there and just to. Why would you bus people around? And why would you have one venue in a province or one venue in a district? It's an abuse. Yeah.
So it's carefully choreographed. There were 20 buses in Epworth that were fully fed on fast food. Those same buses were now at the City Sports Center in the afternoon. The same happened in Chitungwiza. The same crowd that was at Dema was then transported in the same buses to the Chitungwiza Aquatic Complex. It happened in Bulawayo. The same crowd that was at the large white city hall were then transported to Ngeta. The only difference is that in the morning they had chicken slice, in the afternoon they had chicken in, but the same crowd. So you are seeing this choreographed charade of Zanu Pf rallies. And the thing is so well planned. You can see the signs and echoes of Bukurawundi there, the signs and echoes of 2008. A very dangerous process. Yesterday, anything could have happened. Doug Coulter could have lost his life. You people would have lost your equipment. All of us would have been assaulted, yesterday. So quite clearly, the only logical position is that enough is enough. We can't continue legitimizing a charade, and we are therefore disengaging, but not from the constitutional process, as we have emphasized.
Yeah. We had 64 DCCs of Zanu Pf and one PCC which was held at the City Sports Center, presided over by the Secretary General of Zanu Pf, who sometimes masquerades as the Speaker of the National Assembly. We can't have this. Okay. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Yes.
Yeah, no, thanks, Tendai. Bunyapisai with the DCP, but also with ISO, International Socialist Organization, with Lance, who's our general coordinator in the ISO. Thank you. I think yesterday was clear that this is not just a shambolic shell. This is a constitutional coup that is happening directly before our eyes. So for those reasons, this is why you saw us say there's a united force yesterday. And there's a united force today. We are saying we are disengaging from this charade. We are calling on the people. We are disengaging in order to take this battle to where it really matters. We are disengaging to give this regime the real language it understands. The real language that it understands is the streets of this country, the factories of this country, the colleges of this country. That is a constitutionally enshrined right under Section 59 of the Constitution, the right to protest. So that is what we are going to do. But we are not saying the three movements that are here are going to do it alone. We have heard the cry of the people of Zimbabwe. We have heard the cry of the working class of Zimbabwe, the villagers, that we must do this as a united force. And this is the start that we're doing. And we are going to be consulting and uniting forces across the board for the people of Zimbabwe to speak. They have refused the people of Zimbabwe the right to speak. The people shall speak and claim their sovereignty in the streets of Zimbabwe. So that is their choice. We are ready for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Member Director, are we going to be seeing any imminent political
already said, we're going to exercise our Section 59 rights of the Constitution. We are going to mobilize the people of Zimbabwe. This is the month that Geza called and stopped Zanu Pf from enforcing its 24 resolution. That's what we learned from Geza. And in respect and memory of Geza and all veterans and others, and that other thing, yes, we're going to protest. It's a right that we have. Fundamental to this constitution is people's sovereignty across the entire constitutional framework. And for that reason, yes, we are going. But as we said, this is going to be a united call, not just of the three of us as movements, the CDF, MCA, DCP, ourselves in Mashalis, the Sevens, ISO, but across the churches have spoken, other political organizations have spoken, the ZCTU has spoken, and so forth. So yes, we will be making consultations and uniting the people of Zimbabwe to stand up for their rights and stop this thing. This thing is not going to pass. It is not going to be 300 people who are going to pass this thing and speak on behalf of millions. If Smith in 1969 held a referendum for the white folk to do his 1969 constitution, if Mugabe held a referendum in 2000, when there were no legal constitutional obligations, and Mugabe held a referendum in 2013, then if those did, there is no way Emerson Mnangagwa can deny the people of Zimbabwe the right to speak, and speak they shall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
My turn.
Thank you very much.
So,
No.